All right, guys, today we got a very special episode for you. We got the Bronx OG, Triple OG in the house tonight, man. This man has contributed so much to hip hop in various ways. We got the one, the only K-Born in the house. Yo, K, how you doing today, baby?
Maintaining, man. Enjoying myself, man. Enjoying life, man. You know?
Yeah, you looking
Working
good,
hard.
man.
Thank you, man.
Life's treating you well, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm eating good, man. I'm starting to cook more, learning how to cook now. I got an air fryer, so I've been putting that to work.
Yo, them joints is dope.
Yeah. Turn anybody into a chef.
Right. So I like to start at the beginning so we can give the people a better understanding of who you are, where you came from, and how you got to where you are today, right? So where were you born in the Bronx?
I was born on, my mom was living on Clay Avenue, 167th and Clay. And then from there we went down to 168th and Grant. Not Grand, because we got Grand Avenue, Grant with a T.
And then so you're growing up in the Bronx in the 70s, right?
Yes, born in 1968. You know, my mom's and pops came from South Carolina. So when they came, I already had one brother and a sister. You know, they like 3 years older than me, and then one is 6 years older than me, my brother. But so I'm her first kid that she had, my pops in New York.
So why New York from, you said South Carolina, right? Because it's so different. So why did they choose New York?
You know, when you really look at it, and now that as I got older, I see that a lot of people came from the South at that time. You know, when you really start going into history and you see like the Nicky Barnes and a lot of them guys came from the South too. You see, what's the other guy named? They had the movie on. And,
Oh, you're talking about Frank Lucas.
Frank Lucas. You know, all them guys. Malcolm X. You know, a lot of them guys was coming from the South at the time. And then my father came up here. He was in the war. So he went to the war at that time, and my mom's came up here to go to nursing school.
Yeah, and what was the Bronx like in the 70s?
Oh man, well the Bronx, like I said, I'm from the Bronx, but I always used to hang out in Brooklyn. And man, I remember days, we used to fight all the time. It was with my boys, but we used to fight, man, just cause the brothers used to call us the boogie burnt down Bronx. And it used to hurt me to my heart because I knew at the end of it was burnt down.
Yeah,
it
because
was
when
burnt
you
crazy.
look at some old pictures, right, it looks crazy.
It was crazy, man.
Yeah.
I'm talking about you'll go through a block and you could walk like right now you go through these blocks and it's like 20 stores on each side. But I remember walking through them same blocks and it'd be one building on one side and half of the building is burnt down and the other half people was living in. Then it's no building, just rocks and dirt and bandit cars. And on the other side of the street it'd be two buildings, one would be half burnt, people still living in there. The other one just finished, windows busted and all that, but you still see people with lights on and all that in there. Like, man, it was crazy, man.
Looking like a real war zone, huh?
Yeah, it was a war zone, but then, all that came from, they went to the landlords. People was poor at that time. Depression and all that had just finished coming from that, that had just finished happening. So you had a lot of people that wasn't paying their rent and things like that. So somebody came up with the wise idea of, well, since they ain't gonna pay the rent, let's just burn the building and get insurance. So once one landlord did it, all the landlords started doing it. And so, eventually the law caught up on it and the insurance companies caught up on it and put an end to it. But as long as it was going through and insurance was paying, man, the Bronx was on fire.
Mm-hmm.
I'm every day. I remember like 2, 3, like it can't be this many people just, falling asleep or this, that, and the third. I mean, it's 2, 3, 4 buildings burning down at a time.
That's crazy,
On different
man.
blocks, you know what I'm saying?